chunk of the cliffside along an iconic Santa Cruz roadway. It fell into the ocean over the weekend as strong waves pounded the coast.
California is on the edge. Cliffs crack, roads fracture, and the Pacific keeps rising. Along the western boundary of the United States, where land meets the vast force of the ocean, a slow and relentless battle is unfolding. California's dramatic coastline, famous for towering bluffs, winding highways, and homes perched above the surf, is facing intensifying geological pressure. From the misty headlands of Big Sur to the densely developed bluffs of Southern California, the land is being tested by water, gravity, and time. This is not a disaster movie scenario. It's something quieter, slower, but just as powerful. The relentless force of the Pacific. The Pacific Ocean is not a passive neighbor. During winter, powerful storms roll in from thousands of miles away. Atmospheric river events funnel massive amounts of moisture toward the coast. Waves grow taller. Swells become heavier. Energy builds across the open ocean before slamming into California's cliffs. Each crashing wave pounds the base of the rock walls again and again and again. Over time, that constant impact begins to carve away support at the bottom of the cliffs. What looks solid from above may already be hollowed underneath. The ocean excavates hidden voids, weakening the foundation. Eventually, gravity does the rest. Entire sections of bluff can collapse without warning. Tons of earth and rock tumbling into the sea below. It doesn't happen everywhere at once. It happens in sections, in moments, in sudden failures after months or years of quiet weakening. A coastline in motion, California's shoreline stretches roughly 1,100 miles. But erosion is not evenly distributed. Softer sedimentary bluffs retreat faster than harder rock formations. Yet, even resilient cliffs are not immune. Tiny fractures expand under repeated wave pounding. Rainwater seeps into cracks. Soil becomes saturated. The ground grows heavier. What begins as a hairline crack can widen into a visible fissure. And when sea levels rise, the process accelerates. As global ocean levels increase, waves reach farther up the cliff face more frequently. Areas once struck only during extreme storms now face repeated assault several times a year. Scientists sometimes describe this as a ratcheting effect. The ocean gains ground, the land retreats inland, and the baseline shifts permanently. Roads splitting apart. One of the most visible warning signs of instability is damage to California State Route 1, the iconic coastal highway clinging to cliffs above the Pacific. Sections of this road have cracked, slumped, and even collapsed after heavy rains combined with wave undercutting below. Long fissures snake across asphalt. Guardrails tilt at uneasy angles. The pavement subtly sinks. Sometimes the warning signs appear days or weeks before major movement. Other times, failure happens abruptly. Engineers are often forced to close portions of the highway for months. Crews stabilize slopes, reinforce foundations, and rebuild pavement, only to face new challenges after the next major storm season. The repairs are costly, the closures disruptive, and the underlying forces remain. When the ground starts moving beyond wave erosion, rainfall plays a powerful role. After intense storms, groundwater saturates the soil. Water adds weight. It reduces friction within layers of earth. Ancient landslide zones, some dormant for decades, can reactivate. Communities along the Palos Verdes Peninsula have experienced land movement tied to both natural erosion and old slide areas awakened by prolonged wet conditions. Driveways crack, foundations shift, streets buckle. The movement may be slow, inches per year, but over time, the cumulative effect becomes impossible to ignore. A natural process. Accelerated cliff retreat is not new. California's coastline has been shaped by erosion for thousands of years. The cliffs we see today are temporary features in geological time, but researchers warn that climate change is amplifying certain drivers of erosion. Stronger storms, higher seas, more frequent extreme wave events. What once occurred over decades may now unfold more rapidly. In Northern California, bluff failures have sent massive volumes of earth crashing onto beaches below. In Southern California, homes built decades ago near cliff edges now stand far closer to danger than when they were constructed. A single severe winter can dramatically shrink what once felt like a safe buffer of land. The seismic factor. California sits atop active fault systems. Even moderate earthquakes can weaken weaken already fractured coastal cliffs. While most collapses are triggered by waves and rainfall, seismic shaking can act as the final push. A slope already stressed by erosion may need only a brief tremor to fail. The forces are interconnected. Water weakens, gravity pulls, the earth shakes, and sometimes the cliff gives way. Early warning signs. Geotechnical experts monitor several indicators of potential failure. New or widening cracks in soil, pavement, or rock, tilting fences, poles, or guardrails, small rock falls at the base of cliffs, bulging or slumping sections of bluff, increased groundwater seepage, drainage pattern changes. When multiple signs appear together, the likelihood of larger collapse increases. The land often whispers before it roars. The challenge is listening in time. What comes next? Experts emphasize that California is not about to fall into the ocean overnight. This is not a single catastrophic plunge. It is incremental, persistent, unstoppable in the long term. The coastline will continue to evolve. It always has. The Pacific will continue to reshape the land, grain by grain, storm by storm. But the pace matters. State agencies are investing in monitoring systems, slope stabilization projects, and updated construction setback rules. Engineers install retaining structures. Drainage systems are redesigned. High-risk zones are reassessed. Some communities are considering managed retreat, relocating infrastructure away from vulnerable edges rather than repeatedly rebuilding in unstable zones. It's a difficult conversation, but it may become increasingly necessary. Beauty and risk. California's cliffs are iconic. They frame sunsets. They define scenic drives. They attract millions of visitors each year. But beneath the beauty lies constant motion. The coastline is alive. It shifts. It fractures. It responds to forces both local and global. The cracks appearing in roads and along cliff faces are not random defects. They are signals, evidence of an Earth system in motion. And as storms intensify and waves grow stronger, vigilance becomes essential. For residents living near bluff edges, for travelers driving coastal highways, for planners shaping future development, the message is clear. Nature always moves. The long view. In geological time, coastlines are temporary boundaries. The Pacific has advanced and retreated countless times before. Ice ages lowered sea levels. Warmer eras raised them again. Sediment built land outward. Waves tore it back. Today's changes are part of that broader story, but influenced by human-driven climate shifts that are altering the pace. The future of California's coast will not be defined by a single collapse. It will be defined by thousands of small changes. A crack widening, a slope creeping, a storm carving deeper than the last. Over decades, the map itself will subtly redraw. California stands on one of the most dynamic edges on Earth, where continent meets ocean, and stability is always temporary. The cliffs are stunning, the views unforgettable, but the forces at work are immense, and the Pacific keeps rising. If you found this deep dive into California's changing coastline insightful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth explorations of the natural forces shaping our world. Stay informed, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.